present. The meeting's been duly called. Notice of the meeting has been posted as required by law. We have two items. I referred when I communicated that we needed to have this board meeting. I referred to this first item. Then since we're having the meeting, we do have a potential for a site in the Denton County area, North Denton, that we added on here because it wasn't included with the items we asked for approval before. So that's why you see two items. On this first item, you see in your Dropbox, you see this resolution for submitting the paperwork to the TEA, Texas Education Agency, that by getting the process started, we will have access, if approved, we'll have access to the permanent school fund guarantee, which lowers, if you remember on our other bond, it lowers our interest rate by having that guarantee. So if you looked through this really two-page document, page and a half, excuse me, if you look through this document, you see, let me just point out, halfway down in the 5th paragraph, it says, whereas the board now desires to approve the submission of the borrower request to TEA. And then if you go down through the rest of that sentence, you have a comma and you have but not including pricing and issuance of bonds. So you're giving us the approval as Tom Sage, the bond counsel, drafted. You're giving us approval to do everything. And what we had him add, and he agreed to it, was we're not asking you to actually approve the pricing and the issuance of the bond. So you're approving all the work, starting with submitting paperwork to TEA to get them to approve us having access to the permanent school fund. My understanding is there's about $300 million that's going to be available, and they're going to parse it out based on what's submitted. So the reason you see $150 million on here is there are a lot of other charters that will be trying to access that $300 million, and they'll be parsing out based on the submission. So we don't think we're going to come back to you and actually ask for more than $100 million, probably more like $70 million. But just from a strategy standpoint of having access to more of the funds at a lower interest rate, we're putting this higher number. As you know, we're not having a board meeting in March because of spring break. We will be coming back to you in April, and we will have a lengthy meeting. The majority of the meeting will be discussing our 5-6 year plan, and this will be a part of that. So all we're asking you to do today on separate item number 1 is to approve us submitting, doing all the necessary paperwork to where we can submit to TEA to have access to the permanent school fund. So any motions for this resolution?
Dan, I'll second.
Okay, you got that, Nathan? Any questions? Okay, let's take a vote. Who's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Aye.
Okay.
And Nathan, you caught that Kent joined by phone, I believe?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Kent. Thanks for joining us.
You bet, Chuck.
Okay, that was the big one. While we're together, I just wanted to go ahead and get you to approve number 2. There is a site, the Selwyn Academy up in Denton. We're having conversations with about potentially their school becoming a charter. It's in the initial stages, but we have a window from February 1st till the end of March for submitting paperwork to TEA to be able to expand. So we're adding this, a Denton site, to that list you approved of, what was it, Nathan, around 10 sites, 10 to 12 sites that you approved last month. So I need a motion to consider the approval to add an expansion site in Denton, and we'd submit this paperwork to TEA.
So Chuck, we don't have a cost or a payment that we have to buy the site. It's just to add the site for now.
All this is paperwork with TEA for TEA to potentially approve being able to expand in another campus into Denton, and we are still doing all the work with Selwyn as far as, are we going to lease the property? Are they going to donate the land? with the property, all that's still in the works.
In the work. So it's just making sure that we can say that, because we had all the other sites or whatever, the removals and the ads last board meeting.
Right. If we work this out in April, then we would be past the time frame to be able to submit the TEA.
Okay, all right. So just wanted to clarify that. So I'll make the motion
Yeah.
to approve this expansion.
Okay, Ben makes the motion.
Second.
Is that Kent?
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yep. Second by Kent.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. Okay, guys, that was it. Anything else we need to talk about?
No.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
No.
Talk to you later. Safe travels for everybody.
Thanks.
Moving around the country.
Okay.
Bye.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.
Yes, sir.
The Daily Oklahoman this morning.